Hello, my name is Miss Sasha. I'm a teaching artist in the PACE Arts program through the Acadiana Center for the Arts with the Lafayette Parish School System in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today we are going to draw a blue crab. The supplies are pretty simple. You need a white piece of paper, a blue marker, or a blue crayon will do if you don't have any markers. And I have blue crayons, green crayons of any color, orange, and yellow. I also did, I had some green construction paper that I made more grasses with, and so that would require scissors and glue if you want to do that, and we will do that at the end of the video. We'll add those things. I'll give you a moment to collect your supplies. When you come back, all you have to do is press play. Now that we've gathered all of our supplies, let's get started. I have pre-folded my paper. What I did was I folded my paper in half, and then a half this way. So I make a crease, a horizontal crease, and a vertical crease. This way and this way. If you need some help, ask a parent or a sibling to help you out. These folds help us to make our crawfish of a nice size. If not, everyone's would be really tiny. So let's do this. I have a blue marker. Let's go ahead and get started. I've done these shells slightly different, and you can pick which one you want. I also used a dark blue and then a turquoise here. It doesn't really matter. Our crabs we're going to do the best we can to make them look like a blue crab, right? Look. So we're going to use our imagination a little bit, and we're going to do our best, right? Okay, where the two folds meet in the very center, we're going to put a horizontal line. Look, right across. Okay, great. Now we're going to add some points so we know where to go. From here to here, I'm going to find the middle. So I might go from the end of this line to the end of the paper and put a little dot. From the end of this line to the end of the paper, find the middle, put a little dot. Okay. Ooh, you can't really see this one. Okay, better. And from the middle line, from the bottom of the paper, find your middle, and I want you to put a line. It's not quite as long as that one, but it's okay if it is. Okay? It's going to be the bottom of our crab's shell. All right? Okay, now let's connect some dots. All right, from here to here, we're going to do a diagonal line. Diagonal, that's a slanted line. And from here to here, we're going to do a slanted line. Know that whatever we do on the left, we're going to do on the right because crabs are symmetrical. That means they're the same on both sides. Now we're going to do a nice curved line. If you want to find from the top to this line and find your middle, that'll help it to not be like super flat, right? Okay, I'm going to make a curved line. There. All the way around. Mine is not perfect, and neither does yours have to be. I am going to look for another blue marker. Oh, here we go. This one's kind of running out. Okay, great. On this bottom line, let's put a curved line. That's the part of the shell underneath that you pop open to, if you're going to eat crabs, that's the part that you break open. So you can go ahead and put a few little lines in there. It's generally on the bottom, but it kind of curves around onto the top a little bit. Probably a little less than this, but that's okay. Okie dokie. On the top of our shell, look, I did some zigzag lines. They're very tiny. Watch. Up, down, all the way. Zigzag, zigzag, all the way. There. That looks really good so far. All right, let's finish designing his shell. I think we're going to do it this way. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. On the top, you can do like a diagonal and a diagonal. And close it up. Do the same at the bottom, underneath, diagonal, diagonal, Close it up. And you could do slanted or diagonal. I did at the bottom. You could also do it at the top. If you want to make those swirls right here, you could do that. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and do some curve lines. Maybe one more set like this, from here to here. You could put a line from here to there. Really, you're just designing his shell. His shell is not flat. It's a little bit more textured on there. Let's see if I can pull this closer. It's got a little bit of a glare. As you can see, it's got some texture on there. And we're just trying to create that by adding lines. And then what we'll do is we'll take our crayons and kind of enhance that by adding a little bit of detail to our crab shell. Okay? Let's see. While you're adding some more lines to your shell, I'll give you a few blue crab facts. Their habitat, or where they live, is found in brackish coastal lagoons from Nova Scotia to the Gulf of Mexico. They are relatives of the shrimp and the lobster. Also, they are bottom dwellers, meaning they live at the bottom of these water bodies of water at the bottom. They do swim around. They can swim to the top and they can crawl on out, but they mostly live at the bottom. They're omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals. They pretty much feed on anything they can find, from clams, oysters, mussels, smaller crustaceans, fish, plants, algae, worms, fungi. So yeah, they adapt pretty well to their surroundings and their environment. Okay, let's go ahead and draw some of these claws, these legs. Here we go. All right. Okay, right here on this top where those little zigzag lines are, go ahead and put a nice size curve line. You can go right over your zigzag lines. So when we create the legs, they're similar to our arms, where they have like a shoulder, an arm, an elbow, a forearm, and a wrist, and like a little hand, but not like our hands, right? So when we create these, we're going to have a shoulder, an arm, a forearm, and a hand, or a wrist and elbow. So I'll be referring to them like that because it seems to make it much easier to draw. Okay, so here's shoulders for these legs. We're going to do the same here. Right past this little point, put another shoulder on both sides. Remember, they are symmetrical. Make them nice size. Don't make them too tiny, right? All right. Let's make another one that's closer to the bottom here. Do a nice size shoulder. Like that. And then we'll put one in the middle of each of these. Curve and curve. Okay? All right. All right. I'm going to give you a little time to get those shoulders in there. So let's go ahead and finish those legs up. Okay? Here we go. We're going to do, some of them are going to go up, some are going to go down, some are going to go across. It's all good. So, this leg, this one right here, I want you to go ahead and put a line that kind of slants up on both sides. And we're going to put a long skinny oval over it. Watch. Oval, oval. It's just going right around the line that we just drew. Okay? And let's do some that go up and up. And we're going to put, just like this, an oval that goes around it. Perfect. Let's move on to this bottom one right here. These tend to have like more paddles. They use those for swimming, okay? They use some for walking and some for swimming. All right, here we go. Let's do a little line that goes kind of diagonal to the side. This is like our arm right here, covered up with a little oval. The next one's going to kind of go diagonal inward towards the center line. It's not too long. And we're going to cover it up. Okay, and just like this, we're going to put a paddle on the end. You can do a nice size circle, a nice paddle. I call it a paddle. All right, we're going to do the same thing for these two sets of legs right here. Okay, here we go. Diagonal, diagonal. It looked hard to draw at first, huh? But when you break it down into lines and directions and you fold your paper, it makes it a lot easier to draw. Okay, let's go ahead and cover that up with a long, skinny oval. And then this one can kind of shoot down a little bit. Cover it up. Cover it up. And we have one more set to do here, right? Cover it up with a long, skinny oval. And then this one's going to maybe kind of come down a little bit like this, right? Cover it up and cover it up. And we'll finish off these by putting their hands on, not like ours. It's just the end of this part. These are like the tiny little pinchers that are at the end. I just did little triangles, look. Triangle, triangle. Not on this one though. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Remember this one has paddles, so we don't need the triangles on the end of that, okay? Let's add his large legs, okay? First off, take your blue and put two little dark circles. That will be his eyes, so we know not to put the legs there, okay? We're going to fill in this space right here with these nice big claws. These are the claws that you want to eat, okay? All right, so we'll do a line. Find the middle here. Do a line and a line. And these are thicker, so we're not going to just cover them up with a skinny little oval. We're going to start a little bit further away from the line. Watch. Kind of like a bump and go back to his shell. Watch. Up and around. Okay. The next claws are going to bend in. They're going to go this way. Okay. So we're going to line in, line in. It's like his muscles. These are like his big muscle arms, right? They look much different from these little tiny ones. So we'll cover that up, watch, with a nice big oval, nice and big. And the last part will be our pinchers. These guys right here, okay? So you do it like a letter V, a long V, maybe on its side, right? Look, really, really long V. Okay, and we're going to finish those up with the curved lines on each of them. Watch. Curved line on the top, curved line on the bottom, curved line on the top, curved line on the bottom. If you have a better way of doing this, go right ahead. And we're going to finish it up with their little zigzags in there. Those are the ones you don't want to put your fingers near because they will clamp down on you and it does hurt. Okay, good. We got our crab shape all drawn out. It looks awesome. Oh, now that we have our crabs outline all drawn out, it's time for us to use our crayons to fill them in. Go ahead and get your orange crayon. There is some orange on these little points and everything, so we're going to add some detail. We're going to go around a few edges, make them kind of pop out off of our page. Okay, so I've got my orange, and I'll start up here with these muscle arms up here, and I'm just going to take my orange and color a little bit on some of these lines. I'm not going to fill them in because I still want to add some blue to my crab's legs, right? A little bit orange up there. Perfect. I'm going to add a little bit to each of the legs in some spots. It doesn't matter if it accidentally fills in. That's fine. Look, maybe a little on each tip. Watch. On the tip of my little triangle. On the edge of each leg. On the bottom of his paddle. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. See? Oh, I forgot a leg. Here we go. Perfect. I'll give you a little time to add some orange to your crab's shell. Crabs are crustaceans. They usually have a hard shell covering or an exoskeleton. They have 2 pairs of antennas or feelers, which is what we drew here. We didn't draw them on there yet, but we will. They're family to the lobster, the shrimp, the prawns, the crawfish. They're well protected by their exoskeleton. They're basically heavily armored, right? And these big claws, they can break other shells open. So if they need to go crack open a clam or a prawn or something, they will use these big pinchers for that. They're super, super strong. If you've ever been pinched by one, it really does hurt. They're called pinchers. They're the crab's claws. They have 3 functions. They're for eating. They're used for breaking into clams, oyster shells, whatever it needs to eat. And they're also used for fighting because they're also pretty territorial. They're not like hang out with other crabs. They're solitary animals. They're found all over the world. They mostly live in the seawater. Some live in fresh water. Some live on land. So they're pretty versatile, those crabs, right? They are decapods. This is pretty important. They have 10 legs. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, 5 on that side because they're symmetrical. So they're decapod. It means 10. Okay? So I got some, I'm going to add a little bit of orange to my shell in whatever spots I want to. You can do the same. Look. Okay? Little here, a little there. When you're done with adding your orange and you think it looks great, you can put your orange away and grab your yellow. We're going to do the same thing with the yellow, maybe in the same spots, maybe on top of the orange. You decide. I added a little bit here and there, so maybe a little yellow here. See? See that? Definitely on his big muscle arms. I'm still saving spots for blue because that's what our crab is, a blue crab. Little on each leg. How's that? Pretty good? I'll give you a little time to add some yellow. Let's see. The smallest crab, there's like 7,000 species of crabs. So you will know that they range in different sizes. So the smallest one can be the size of a green pea. You've ever eaten green peas? Well, crabs can be that small, right? And they can get up to 13 feet. 13 feet is really long. That would be a really big crab. Maybe that's a snow crab. I don't know. It's in one of the species of crabs, right? You got your yellow on? Perfect. Let's do some blue. Now, I did this crab with a dark blue. Let's see if this is the dark blue. Yeah, this is dark blue. And I kind of went around and colored in those empty spaces lightly. I don't want to color up all my orange and my yellow. And I did this one with more of a turquoise. You could do one or the other or both. It just depends on which blue you have. And neither of them is the wrong answer because they're both blue. You can even use both on one crab. On this one, I have a little bit of dark and a little bit of turquoise. So you can go ahead, gently color in. Again, try not to cover up all of your orange and yellow. It's okay if the whole shell isn't completely blue. You're coloring lightly with your blue crayon. I'll show you what I can do with turquoise too. Maybe I'll color in some center here with turquoise. Look. And maybe add a little bit of dark blue in there as well. Maybe I'll do dark blue on his shell and the turquoise on his legs and his pinchers and his the little zigzags, right? Look. A little bit here, a little bit there. If you only want to use one blue, that's fine too. Look. You can come back with that and add some on the center of this shell. That's what I did with this turquoise. Look. Or just keep it all one shade of blue. It looks amazing no matter which way you do it, right? I'll give you a little time to fill that blue crab in, and then we'll work on his background or his little natural environment, you know, the natural habitat where he might live. And remember, he lives in all different kinds of spaces, so we're just going to assume that he's maybe in a coastal area with some grasses for him to hide in. You can always do yours in a different place if you know of another place to do yours in. Okay? I'll give you a little minute to finish that up. Now that our crab's all colored in, it's time for us to do our background. I have some green crayons that you can go ahead and grab. I have dark green and light green. If you only have one, that's completely fine. So I just took my green and I kind of added grasses all the way around, like some zigzag lines. Look. Right, I wanted to make it look like he was kind of walking around in the grasses, kind of bird's eye view, which is from the top looking down, right? That's why you see the top of him and not maybe the front, like this crab right here. He's like coming at you. This one is crawling away, maybe like these, right? So you can even make some tall grasses. Try not to draw on your legs. If you do, it's not a big deal, right? Look, all the way to the tippy top. Right. I also used a light green. It's nice to have two different shades of the same color. It just kind of makes it pop on out or have a little bit more detail. Right? A little here, a little there. I also just, because I wanted to, added a little bit of orange into my grasses down here. Maybe it's little flowers, whatever you want. Sand, it might represent some sand. I didn't add too much, just a little here and a little there. I'll let you finish adding those grasses around. I didn't color the whole background, and I'll show you what I did with the yellow too in a minute, just to kind of make the page look a little less white over on this one. So I'll give you a minute to go ahead and add all your grasses, and then I'll show you the yellow. All I did was kind of color in these spaces. Maybe it was a sunshiny day, all the way around. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to add green, you can. That's completely fine. I just didn't want all that white paper, right? And then I also, on this one, sometimes I just leave them just like this because they look really nice. You can also cut them out if you're really amazing at cutting all those legs out and put it in a different background. That's fine too. I have taken some green construction paper, cut a little strip. Let me watch. I just cut a little strip like this, and watch. Cut some long triangles, like this. See? Cut a few of those out. You can even do a few small ones like this. Look. See? Little triangles. They can be squares, they can be rectangles, it doesn't really matter. And then I took my glue and I glued these on. It's okay if they go up in front of your crab because he's kind of hiding in the grasses, right? See? And my little tiny triangles, maybe a few down here. Watch. See that? Watch. Look at that. Now he's hiding in the grasses. Oh, I have one more. Ooh, I'll put a little glue over here. If you wanted to add maybe some cattails in there, cattails are found around in the swampy areas, ditches, ponds, near rivers and stuff. I've used some recycled cardboard. I don't think I have any right here with me, but you can use recycled paper. You can use brown tissue paper. Watch. Here's a little piece of tissue paper. Cattails are like, they're flowerless plants. They look like corn dogs, kind of, stuck on the top of a little piece of grass. Watch. Here's a little cattail, right? You can use other colored tissue paper. Maybe it's, you've got some flowers hanging around your pond. Look, you just take a little piece of the tissue paper. Look, they're real thin. See? You can crumble it up. Put a little bit of glue. Add some tissue paper flowers. Maybe I should add another one. A little bit more. You could do one white one and one pink one. They don't have to be together. Any color will do. There. Just makes our piece a little bit more three-dimensional. So you're just using things that you might have around your house, right? What else could you add? What else could you add? Oh, maybe you could add a little dragonfly or a butterfly flying around, landing on your cattails. All of that's possible, right? We're just being creative. Thank you so much for drawing this crab with me. We're going to be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. on the Acadiana Center for the Arts YouTube channel for kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade, each tied to an academic curriculum. You can also get these lessons on AOC as part of the Learn United program, accessible on AOC on Cox Channel 16 or LUS Channel 4. Kindergarten lessons will be airing at 8, and 1st and 2nd grade lessons at 9. Some lessons will be in visual arts, and some will be in creative movement. So be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you're interested in supporting programs like this, visit AcadianaCenterForTheArts.org, the nonprofit who manages the PACE program. Spread the word, share our videos, and keep making art.